Ok, cred că am depășit, am alocat 2 minute pentru intrarea pe... Bine ați venit, pentru conectarea pe Zoom. And we'll start. Bună seara și în mod oficial. Mă bucur să fiu din nou gazdă într-o ipostază nouă la fiecare webinar pe care o organizăm. Avem și startup-uri noi. În seara asta avem, de fapt, mai multe premiere, cel puțin 3, pe care vrem să vi le anunțăm. Și aș începe cu cea mai importantă legată de prezența voastră aici. Vă mulțumim că existați și sunteți conectați la SeedBlink și motivul aprecierii noastre este că ați fost investitori strajnici, aș zice, pentru SeedBlink în ultimele 11 luni. Și avem în premieră aceste categorii pe care le-am creat de investitori elit și clasic în relația cu SeedBlink și cu ceea ce a listat SeedBlink. Bine ați venit și vă mulțumim și cu ocazia asta, în afară de mulțumirile formale pe care sperăm că le-ați primit cu toții în diferite feluri. Webinarul din seara aceasta, de fapt, e o întâlnire via Zoom care nu are calitate de webinar. Încercăm varianta asta în care ne arătăm și fețele, doar că toată audiența rămâne pe mute ca să putem să ne organizăm cât mai eficient din punct de vedere Q&A și vă așteptăm întrebările pe chat odată ce simțiți că aveți întrebări să adresați. Și în seara asta avem cealaltă premieră foarte importantă, e că este prima listare pe care o derulăm cu un startup și o companie care e în afara granițelor României. În România e vorba de Marea Britanie și avem aici, după cum deja știți, Crikle. Și de fapt mai sunt 2 premiere atașate ca să fac haz de necaz. E prima listare cu o companie din afara țării, dar una britanică, și prima listare cu un startup care e în afara Uniunii Europene. Cu ocazia, după cum știți, părăsirii Marii Britanii acestei asociații. Și nu în ultimul rând, am vrea să vă anunțăm cu ocazia asta că, din punct de vedere strategic, așa cum deja ne-am conturat parcursul și până acum, am decis să dăm o tentă și mai pronunțată pe specializarea noastră ca platformă de equity crowdfunding pe zona tech și inclusiv exemplu din seara aceasta cu listarea Crikle, sperăm să vă demonstreze această specializare și focus al nostru pe zona tech. Așadar, aceasta fiind zisă în română, we switch to English. Welcome everybody. Just a brief for our guests. We have here 2 British guests, but at least one of them is very familiar with the Romanian environment. I say hello to Diwaker, which is an old friend of Romanian business environment. Hello, Diwaker. Welcome to the virtual world of Romanian startup ecosystem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Paul. Paul is the CFO. He's British. He's not very much connected, but through Diwaker, he's connected to Romanian environment. Hello, Paul. Welcome.
Hi there.
And here we are almost 30 present at this event. Hello, everybody again. I already made the introduction about at least 3 premieres that we have tonight with SeedBlink, and just to count them, the first is the new elite and classic categories of investors that we have just launched. The other is the first British startup that we are going to organize a campaign of equity crowdfunding for. And the third is the clear focus that we have decided to have on the tech startups from now on, even more focus that we already did. So hello everybody, and of course along with me we have here Radu Georgescu, which actually is the liaison between SeedBlink and Crikle. Hello Radu. And thank you for the link. And Ionuț Pătărhău, that is, all of you, Ionuț, he's co-founder and chief innovation officer at SeedBlink, and my colleagues from marketing. I will make already the connection with Diwaker. He's an old friend of Romania. He used to live here for quite a while. Diwaker, good evening again. Welcome. And how do you feel in reshaping this connection virtually, this time with the Romanian startup ecosystem?
Thank you very much, Andrei. I can't tell you how delighted I am to be on this platform today. I think for a number of reasons. One, as you said, that Romania is still my second home. In fact, I still own a home in Bucharest. So, you know, I might have moved away, but I'm still very connected with Romania, and it has a very dear place in my heart. And in fact, I see a lot of people on here today who I've had the opportunity of being friends and business associates with in the past. And it's absolutely wonderful to be on this platform. I think what's also very interesting is that somebody who's very connected now with the English and the American startup environment, you know, you at SeedBlink have decided to focus on technology. I think that's a very, very great, good initiative, because I think Romania is the best place to have a technology-oriented crowdfunding platform, because the people in Romania, everybody is so tech savvy, everybody understands technology. So I'm absolutely delighted to be here. And thank you very much for that very nice and warm introduction, Andrei. I really appreciate it. Ionuț, Radu, everybody else who's worked on this, thank you very much for your help as well. So I think if it's okay, I'll move on with talking about you know, the reason that we're here today is to talk about Crikle. And what I really want to focus on is talk to you. I guess some of you or most of you would have seen the business plan and the deck, etc. But what I really want to talk to you about today and focus on is that what is the inspiration? What is the vision? Why do I think that Crikle is going to go where it's going to go? What is the strategy behind it? And you know, what's the future? I think that's what I want to explain to you why I believe so deeply in Crikle, and I think what is the problems that it is going to solve, and how it's different from anything else that's out there. So I think I should start off by telling you that, as you probably know, the business environment has changed. The world has become a much smaller place, as you know, what used to be in the past. Today, time zones, geographical boundaries don't mean anything anymore. I could be sitting in Bucharest and selling to Australia or to the US or anywhere else. I mean, we've become a global marketplace. The other interesting thing that has happened, as you are all aware, is that as we become more and more global, it no longer makes sense to have you know, offices in different countries, sales offices in different countries, to have agencies in different countries, because it's not only is it very unproductive, but it's very, very costly to maintain sales infrastructure globally, which is why it is not surprising, right, that companies across the world, right, have resorted for a number of years now, and it's not recent. I think we've seen this growing trend in the last few years, have resorted to what's best defined as remote selling, having their sales teams in one place, having control over their sales process, and being able to sell across the world. I mean, yeah, I think that's the way the world has moved. Having said this, of course, the COVID has helped, because those who were working from office and doing this are now working from home, and in many cases, this is not going to change. So I'm just going to share my screen now, if I may, so that I can get my presentation up.
Until you are starting your presentation, just a quick note to everybody: we are recording the event, just to sharing with the others that are not able to attend. But you are not; nobody will see who is present. Only the panelists are going to be seen on the screen at the recording.
Okay, so if I carry on, yeah. So just to reinforce what I was just saying, that in July 2020, July this year, McKinsey did a very interesting study in which they said that 73% of the businesses are looking to invest in remote selling technology because they feel that they need to go beyond what they have to successfully sell in the future. And therefore, it is not surprising that the vision, the mission of Crikle is to pioneer technologies for remote selling. Because if you really look around you, and I will explain that to you as we go along, there isn't much out there which is specialized for remote selling. I mean, people have all kinds of makeshift solutions that they're working with. So the real problem is as follows. The real problem is that today, salespeople are using meeting tools like Skype and Zoom and Teams to sell. Now, this is not technology that has been built for selling. It's not fit for purpose. For example, when you're selling, there are certain key functionalities and features that you need to have. So when I'm talking to you right now, if I was to start looking down and writing and start typing notes, I have lost eye contact with you. I have lost that engagement with you. If I don't do that, I have lost the opportunity to take feedback from you. And if I have taken that feedback on a piece of paper, then I have to do some extra work to put it into my CRM. So what we have today really is either conferencing and meeting tools, or we do have makeshift solutions that are clunky and costly and not really fit for purpose. So what we did as a company, what Crikle did as a company, is that once we identified that this was a problem, we went out to a whole lot of salespeople. In fact, we brought on 3 very, very experienced sales leaders from across the world onto our advisory panel and said, look, guys, tell us, what is it that you guys really need to sell efficiently if you're selling remotely? And they came back to us, and they're still working with us. Or in fact, they are our advisors even today. One of them is the sales leader for a company called Guru. The other one is in the travel space. So yes, we have a number of sales advisors. They said, okay, there are 4 things which are really critical. The first is communication and collaboration, right? We obviously need to communicate with our customers remotely. The second is the ability to take their feedback, and to not only take their feedback, but to manage that feedback. So if I ask you a question, Mr. Paul, how big is your company? What are your requirements? What are the problems? What are the problems that we can solve for you? And you're telling me what the problems are. I need to be able to accurately record them and put them somewhere. And when I say somewhere, I need to take them back to where I store my data, which is typically my CRM, for example, Salesforce, to be able to create, to create your dossier, to be able to create your file. While I'm presenting to you, right, I need to have sales enablement tools available to me. For example, I need to be able to see my pitch. I need to be able to see my, my Q&A. I need to be able to see my competition, this thing. So how do I get that material in front of my face while I'm still talking to you, right? And maintaining eye contact with you in a fashion that is seamless. And of course, how do I manage my content? Because if during my sales conversation with you, you ask me, can you tell me about this? Or can you show me this? How do I get all this across to you seamlessly? So based on that, we have built the Crikle platform. Now, the first part of the Crikle platform is the communication and collaboration part. So this is, let's put it, Zoom on steroids, right? So when I say Zoom on steroids, it obviously has all the basic functionalities that we're looking for, but it has something which nobody else has, which is the ability to present in HD media format. Which means if you are selling a product which is visually important, for example, if you're selling, say, travel, for example, and you need to show a video, a good quality video, you need to show a good quality image, you can't really do that on Zoom, because the only way you can do it on Zoom is like I'm sharing this presentation with you, which is through screen sharing. Whereas in Crikle, you can actually show images, videos, everything in the HD media format. and they are positioned in a fashion that you can move from slide to slide without a problem. The other important thing that's you got to keep in mind here is that Crikle, you don't need to download anything to use Crikle. So unlike Zoom, where you have to download an application, this is completely browser-based, right? So your customer, don't have to reach out to your customer with a Zoom invite and say, do you have Zoom, or do you have Skype, or do you have Teams? It's completely browser-based, needs nothing to be downloaded, and of course, it's mobile-enabled. The second part, which is, I think, a very important and interesting part, is the ability to take feedback, which I spoke about earlier, for example. Now, one of the functionalities that Crikle has is that, for example, you can create checklists. So if I am selling, let's say, software, and I have a list of 20 questions that I obviously need to ask my customer, how many people do you have in your company? What kind of revenue do you have? What kind of customers do you serve? Standard questions, right? I can, while I'm talking to you, just be clicking, right? And get those, and take those answers down. At the end of the call, it collapses all the questions and answers and moves them onto your CRM. Similarly, I can take notes in this space while I'm talking to you, and they get merged with all the other sales data related in the CRM. Plus, I can also record the calls, but not record the calls as this is being recorded, because I can record the calls and I can flag where the important conversations are taking place. So I can just go click. This was an important piece of information. I can go click, so that I don't, at the end of the call, have to listen to a 45-minute recording. And I just listen to those little bits and pieces which are relevant and important to me. Then the sales tools, the ability to have presentations, the ability to have battle cards, frequently asked questions, all these in front of my face at any given point of time. Content management, which I spoke about. I mean, having your presentations in different libraries on your desktop, on your server, the ability to be able to access them instantly and bring them, during a call. Because I think what we have to understand here is that a conversation with a customer is a silver bullet. You get that once. If you mess it up, it's likely you'll never get it again. In fact, I was talking to a sales advisors the other day. They said typically you get about 6 or 7 minutes to make that impression. If you don't make that impression, if you don't present the right material, if you don't have that right body language and contact, you lost the customer forever. Then the other important thing is the sales analytics. Of course, you have your CRM, but how Crikle is important not just for the salesperson, but for the salesperson's boss, because the salesperson boss can see how is my salesperson doing. What is the average length of the call? If the average length of the call is very small, obviously things are not going right. Which are the parts of the presentation where maximum time is being spent on? Marketing. It's very important for marketing, because marketing can use the information that comes out of Crikle to improve their presentations, to improve the pitch, to make things a lot easier and better for the salesperson. Then, of course, the most important thing, which I think for those of you who have worked in the sales world would know, that integration with your CRM is absolutely critical. So Crikle integrates with Salesforce, HubSpot, Pipedrive, G Suite, 365, all these CRMs that you would need, and the integration is almost immediate and seamless. So it's completely cloud-based. You just click, right? You put in your Salesforce ID, and your information is now flowing into your CRM. I thought many of you might want to know that, look, Diwaker, is there anybody else who's doing this already? So the answer to that is that no, there isn't any single platform which does everything that I just spoke to you about. There are different services that do different things. So for example, for feedback, of course, you have Evernote, you have a whole lot of other apps that you can use. For content management, you can use SharePoint. For conferencing, you can use GoToMeeting, Microsoft Teams. For presentation, you can use Google Slides, PowerPoint, etc. But these are all different bits and pieces. Is there anything that puts together all these key functionalities into one place? And the answer is no, there isn't. We actually are the first people who are doing this. And I think the reason we've been able to do this so successfully, I'm happy to admit, is because we have worked with salespeople to build this. So it's a sales platform built by sales platform. We have looked at what their everyday needs are, and the people who have built this for us are going to be our first pilots. The next question is that, you must have read that we are planning to target the SaaS industry. So I want to make it very, very clear, firstly, that Crikle is not only for the SaaS industry. In fact, it has a number of different users. So when we first launched Crikle a few months ago, as a test product, we went to a number of different verticals. I think we have a kitchen company here in the UK which has sold £1.5 million of kitchens using Crikle. So Crikle has a use in number of segments, whether it is high value goods, whether it is travel. In fact, any business where you need a sales expert on this side needs Crikle. But we decided to focus on the SaaS industry. And why did we decide to focus on the SaaS industry? There are a number of reasons for that. One is that SaaS products are normally problem-solving products, which means you really need to understand what is the problem that your customer has, and then provide a solution. So it's solution selling. Second is that SaaS is an industry which is already technology savvy, right? So if I was trying to sell Crikle today to, let's say, people doing real estate or travel or whatever it is, it probably takes a lot more effort to explain to them how to use it, what it means, etc. SaaS companies are tech savvy, they know how to do. And third and least, I must admit that having spent the last 20 years of my life in the SaaS world, I understand it well, and therefore I know who the customers are, and I know how to get to them. But having said that, I just want to make it very clear that I, of course, always believe in focus, focus, and focus. So whereas we are focusing on the SaaS industry now, in the future, we will be moving to different segments of the market as well. As I mentioned to you, we already have customers. We have happy customers. So we've got this company, for example, Optiplan in the kitchens in the UK, who has generated 1.5 million pounds of revenue since the implementation of Crikle. We've got different types we've got Hollywood Gaming, we've got parking professionals, we've got Karaptika, all these kind of people who are currently using Crikle. So so I think that is essentially my presentation today. I'll obviously try to keep it as short as I could, because I'm hoping and expecting that you will have questions. But yes, if there's anything else, of course, you want to know, I have some backup slides as well. I can always bring them up at a later point of time. But I hope this gives you a general idea of what we're trying to do. So let me just reinforce this and say that, we are trying to solve the problem of remote selling. It's a huge opportunity because it's growing. There is nobody else who's doing this. And we start off by focusing on a $150 billion industry, which is the SaaS industry. And obviously we are very, very bullish about it, and would highly appreciate your support in taking us through this journey and having you involved. I think one of the big advantages of crowdfunding, which is another reason I'm very happy to be on crowdfunding, is that you have so many people investing in you, and each one of those is a champion for you. So so that's what I have to say. Over to you, Andrei. Thank you very much for listening.
Great, Diwaker, right on time. But as far as I know, we already got several questions from the audience. But I know that you wanted also to play a short video about Crikle
I think
right
we can
now.
do that at the end, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we could probably do that at the end.
Then we'll go directly to the Q&A session, which seems already to be very active. I'll start in the order that we got the questions. If you want to write the questions in Romanian, feel free to do it. We'll address it in English. So it's up to you. The first one is coming from, I will not, actually, just for the GDPR reasons, I will not spell your name, just the questions. What exactly are the CRM integration? Lead creation, media repository?
So the CRM integration is essentially taking customer feedback, and in Salesforce, for example, you have a section on calls. So every time you make a call, you have the ability to put feedback in there. So the feedback from Crikle goes back into the call feedback of Salesforce.
Okay. Well, another question regarding the competition, your competition. What will prevent other competitors to copy the functionalities from your platform?
So I think the answer is that not very much. So if somebody wants to copy us in the future, obviously they can copy us. I think the advantage that we have, is we spend a lot of time in understanding the need and a lot of time in building the product. But a year down the line, can we have some competition, for this product? I think so, and actually I hope so, because I think sometimes competition is even better than being a loner to grow in the market. Yeah, but the answer is there can be competition, and I think there will be competition. But hopefully by then we will be a well-established product in the market, and therefore early growth is very important.
About your strategy, do you plan to be a product company or a client-oriented, service-oriented company?
So we are a SaaS software company, and basically we are a B2B company, and we will be selling our software, cloud software, to our business customers, who will be paying a monthly subscription for it. So yeah, we are a service. We are a software as a service.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a question from someone that I know very well and is involved in the education field. Can you sell educational programs as well on Crikle?
You can sell anything that you want on Crikle. So what you have to remember is that Crikle is basically a sales platform. It's not dedicated to any single product. So as you just saw, we have kitchen companies using Crikle to sell. We have window companies, we have gaming companies, we have financial services companies. And education is actually a very interesting product. But the reason I don't have education in my list of products today is because I think education needs a lot of customization, which we need to do, put on the roadmap and do in the future, but it's certainly on our list.
An interesting feature that someone refers to as a question: does Crikle platform has any emotion recognition from camera stream to enhance the feedback of the session?
It's funny that you say this, because just this morning in our morning meeting, our product person and one of the engineers spoke about this. In fact, he gave a name, I'm forgetting it. He said that it's just come out this something with the N, if I'm not mistaken. Well, we don't have it as yet, but we definitely do intend to put it in there, because I think catching the customer's emotions could definitely be a benefit for anybody selling.
Coming back to your competition or potential other sellers of this product, why do you think that large CRM players like Salesforce, for example, are not already working on transforming their platforms to tackle remote selling as well?
So I think large platforms like Salesforce have always focused on their core platforms and have always acquired other plugins that they can add onto this thing. So if Salesforce wanted to build Crikle, they would need 3 senior vice presidents. They would need 2 years of planning and time and many, many $1 million to do that, because that's how large corporations are structured. So if the question was that, is Salesforce a potential acquirer for Crikle, I would raise my hand and say hopefully yes, and hopefully quickly.
Okay, it's so many questions. Beside the already stated CRM integration, do you or will you have also API for other integration?
Absolutely. So we consider integrations to be one of the most critical parts of Crikle because, like I said, Crikle has to be part of the sales process. It has to be, it has to integrate with the sales process. And one form of integration is obviously the connection to the CRM. So yes, we will definitely, we already have 4 or 5 CRMs on our in our pipeline. But if there's an opportunity, to have more, to do more, we will definitely be doing them. The answer is yes, we will have APIs.
So this time a question about your business model, the monetization model. Is it or will be monthly fee per user or pay per use, etc.?
No, it's monthly fee per user, monthly fee per user per seat. Of course, there are various payment options. You can pay annually, you can pay monthly, you can pay quarterly, and obviously discounts vary based on that. It's per seat, and obviously discounts to companies would be based on how many seats they take and what the payment plan is.
So it's pretty much kind of Zoom business model.
I think it's a typical SaaS business model in general. I think most SaaS companies are following. Of course, as in when we build more and more features, we might also have a feature-based, this thing as well.
Do you have embedded best practices for sales, like sales playbook flows?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, the third or fourth slide that I showed, which was related to the ability to embed, to integrate playbooks, to integrate checklists, to integrate. Yes, absolutely. The answer is that's one of the key features. Playbooks is one of the key features of the product.
Okay, switching to the legal framework. Is there any IP registered?
Not as yet, but we are working on it, and we are very confident that we will have something pretty shortly.
In UK?
We will register it, obviously, more than just the UK. We will register it at least certainly in the US as well, and certainly in Europe.
Okay, the scalability. How do you plan to expand worldwide?
So, as I mentioned to you earlier, we are a remote selling product, and we are going to remote sell. And being a B2B product, we are basically going to be focusing on outbound sales. So there'll be a number of channels that we are exploring right now. Obviously, one is our own outbound sales. The second is we are looking at the possibility of getting into strategic alliances with other organizations which are selling products and services to SaaS companies, for example. I mean, for example, 2Checkout and what was Avangate earlier is a company that sells, that enables SaaS companies to sell more. So they are strategic partnerships. We will also be looking at some large dealer and distribution networks. Yeah, so we have a multi-pronged strategy of growing global, which is not, I guess, very different from what most SaaS companies have. But I think in our case, I mean, I'll give you an example. One of the strategic alliances that we would definitely source would be with people like Salesforce and, to get onto their store, because, it's a benefit for Salesforce users to use Crikle. So we try very hard to get onto their stores and get onto other CRM stores as well, where people who are using those CRMs can do us. Integrators of CRM are another great channel. That's how we plan to go global.
Okay. Diwaker, we have so many questions. So I feel
that could mean two things. That could mean that one is that people are interested. The other is that I didn't explain myself well, but I hope it's the first one.
Now a question from someone that I know that is paying a lot of attention to details and also to the financial details. So he mentions also slide 25. This is probably from our platform, the full details that we have there. Slide 25 mentioned headcount of 24, 25, 54 in 21, 22, and 23, meaning the years.
Financial year.
Yeah. Where are these people hired? On what functions? Support, sales, marketing, product?
So I
by
think
numbers and where?
Yeah, a large.
Also as geography.
Yeah, so 50-50, I would say 50% of our hire in the future, and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, are on the technology side. So there are product technicians, programmers, etc., and 50% are on the commercial side. So salespeople, I think we are ramping up quite heavily on our sales hires. So I would say 50% are in the sales, customer service, and that side, and 50% are developers, product managers, etc. And I'm happy to say that in the development side, I'm hoping that a lot of them will be in Romania. That is the plan, and that's how we are working today. Paul, am I correct in my assumption?
Slightly less on the product side, and we've also got marketing and management within there as well. But yeah, like broadly.
Okay. Paul, I think I forgot to mention that you're in the position of the CFO. So that's
no, you did mention it. You did mention
it. Okay. I made the introduction to Paul, but I was not sure if I mentioned the CFO position. What's your opinion about Salesforce recently engaging with messaging platform Slack? Salesforce recently engaging with messaging platform Slack regarding their acquisition. Does this pose a competition risk from Salesforce?
No, it actually, like I said earlier, it's an opportunity, because Salesforce has started. So I think it's very important for everybody to understand that we are a product focused in the SMB segment. And what increasingly Salesforce is trying to do is try to get into the SMB segment. And they're trying to get into the SMB segment by acquiring products and services that are today being consumed by SMB. And this acquisition was part of that strategy, and hopefully Crikle's acquisition will be part of that strategy as well. Whether it's Salesforce or somebody else, God knows.
Okay, so the acquisition of Slack.
Slack is purely to get into the SMB space.
Okay, and could be a good sign for a future acquisition.
Good sign for Crikle. Yes.
Sin has another question. Since some idea about analytics. Are you interested in a partnership for accelerating the business intelligence analytics part of your platform? There are several other SeedBlink listed companies that you are already with us. So maybe it's
the answer is that we are always open to any good collaboration that we can find, and anything that in fact can hasten our product development and put us faster and quicker into the market is always welcome. And we would always look at technologies which make sense to us. And the answer is definitely yes.
Okay. What's your current customer conversion rate? And what is the conversion rate that you are targeting?
So currently, I think, as you know, we have mostly what you can call test or pilot customers. So these are people that we specifically went out to because we wanted to test Crikle in different industries, in different segments. But going forward, we expect our conversion rate. So since we are primarily focusing on outbound, we expect our conversion rate to be between about 7 to 10% based on the outbound calls and the that we do. So I think that's the answer.
Okay. Coming back to a very specific and detailed knowledge about your presentation on our platform, slide 24. Note for valuation of at 5 multiple of revenues for year 22. Revenues in revenues is 4.9 million. Valuation is 9.1. Reconcile the figures with the note.
I can take that.
Yeah.
So the note actually isn't fully correct. So the note should say 5 times year-end recurring revenues. So it takes the prior year's closing year-end revenues and times those by 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and the second part.
Error, we correct that.
Okay, we'll handle it along with you. And the second part of the question is, current investments are pre-money valuation of 4.4 million, which is higher than 4 million valuation quoted for year 21. Any comment on this?
One's in pounds and one's in euros.
Yeah, one's pounds and euros. I think that's the difference.
So the 4 million is in pounds and the 4.4 million is in euros.
Okay. Is a different question now. Is the app cloud-based or will be also a mobile app?
It's cloud-based, but it's mobile as well on the buyer side. So obviously we don't assume sellers to be using mobile too, because there are lots of complexity. You need your playbooks, etc., etc. But on the buyer side, yes, it is mobile.
Okay. A question about the approach, maybe for a forum. Can we have a discussion forum with Crikle, similar to that one from SeedBlink investment listing, where we can ask further questions? Yes, of course you can. My colleagues could help me if technically we already, I don't think it's available already on the platform, or we can make it. I will answer by the end of the presentation, just to be sure. Otherwise, we can organize it quickly.
We are happy to participate in that, because yeah, we would love to actually do that.
And if you agree, Diwaker and Paul, we can also share your email addresses to get direct questions. Otherwise, could be better if everyone can see the questions and answers.
So what I'd like to say here, Andrei, is that I'm happy to get into a forum. I'm happy to get onto phone calls. I'm happy to get onto emails. Whatever that individuals or collectively you prefer, to answer any doubts or queries that you might have. Happy to do that.
Someone already checked, an investor. We have an answer here that it seems it's active, the Q&A forum on the platform, but we'll confirm it soon.
Absolutely.
If I may, I got some direct question on the private chat. If I can switch to some of them, and one is referring to Radu, if he's available to get a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Radu, what made you invest in Crikle, and how do you see the future of this company?
Look, so I was really excited by two things. One is the team. So I've been working with Diwaker for a long time, so I know his ability to execute, which is the most important thing for me when I invest. The team's ability to execute. So that's something that is very important for me. And second is the vision that the team, Diwaker and the rest of the team, actually have on this structuring the video things because of the work from home, which is the general video platforms, the video platforms for interviews, for this, for that, and this is for sales. So I do tick a lot. I love the vision, and here's a team that has a proven ability to execute. To be honest, I did not invest, day one. Day one money came from the founders. I was a very late, either a very late co-founder or a very early seed investor, but I was not investing day one. I invested once the company got into proving what's happening, and it was good for me, and yeah, that's the reason.
Thank you for that, for the explanation. Another question, it seems that is also quite someone that is knowing your detailed presentation. One of the companies that is using Crikle claims to have sold over £1 million using the platform. What did they do differently?
So yeah, this is very happy to answer this question. So it's a company that sells high-end bespoke kitchens, which comprises of a number of different components. So if you're building your own kitchen, you know, what kind of an oven do you want? What kind of a hub do you want? It's a very visual experience. Talk to a lady, she will tell you that she wants her kitchen to look like this. So A, the presentation aspect was very, very critical. B, the architectural drawing, the ability to present architectural drawings is very, very critical. And the ability to take feedback from them all in one call. So for example, if you're presenting a kitchen and the lady says, look, I don't like this hob, or I don't like this cooker, or I don't like this, can you immediately pull other options out and show them to her and end the call with, so the conversion went up. To answer the question, the conversion rate went up 3 times from what they were converting when they were just using Zoom to when they started using Crikle and had the ability to do high quality presentation, audio and video and pictures and architectural drawing, and take good feedback to create something that the customer really wants. So it's all about conversion. Their conversion rates went up 3 times. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. I think right now it's a good timing. I have another question prepared, but maybe could be a good timing for playing also your video.
Sure.
Until we prepare for the I think we have 10 more minutes in total also for making the closing. So just not to lose the opportunity to play the video. I think Bianca, if you can help us with that.
Yeah, 1 second.
Thank you very much. And if you, in the meantime, want to write some additional questions, we'll conclude for the last 10 minutes.
I'm Diwaker, Singh, the CEO and the founder of Crikle. The best way to actually describe Crikle is that it's a platform for salespeople. It's a platform that enables them to sell remotely.
I'm Radu Georgescu. I'm here to share my great opinions about Crikle as I'm one of the early investors and advisors to the company. It's a one tool dedicated where you actually sell online, integrated with your CRM, integrated with all your notes, with all your presentation tools and everything.
My name is Manuel. I'm heading up sales at Guru, which is a B2B SaaS platform for automated customer service with a human touch. There are many good video conferencing solutions, but none of them is tailored to the needs of salespeople.
It's a single platform. It's a unified platform that gives them everything that they need for remote selling.
I'm Andy Tam, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Crikle. We're looking to provide a simple to use, accessible, and unified platform for sales teams.
Today, they are using meeting and conferencing tools to sell. Now, these are not sales tools. These meeting tools have not been designed for remote selling. So before Crikle, the salespeople have had no real platform or no real unified platform where they can sell effectively and sell remotely.
With the world becoming a lot more connected, there's been a huge transition in how businesses become more flexible and remote-based workplaces.
Now, it has become more important than ever to address the specific needs of salespeople when it comes to video conferencing.
Going forward, this trend is not going to go away. Work from home is here to stay.
When I looked around me, I saw that salespeople were struggling. Were really struggling to sell remotely. I mean,
it's a cumbersome process to sell online and give the customer, the right feeling that you are paying attention, that you are looking into his eyes.
The problem we face every day is that the guidance doesn't help much during a video call.
By using Crikle, companies can create that culture of remote selling, which would result in more revenues, more customers, and better profitability for organizations in the short and the long term.
Companies like Crikle that are focusing on online guided sales, I mean, that's a very niche product, but it's so important and the opportunity is so big.
Many tools focus on the benefits for the leaders because they usually decide whether a company buys a tool or not. In my mind, this is the wrong approach. The sales leaders only benefit from a tool that the salespeople adopted, and Crikle has a clear focus on that.
We've got over 500 customers, users who are trialing Crikle at this point of time. Amongst this, for example, is a company here in the UK which sells kitchens, high-end kitchens.
Hi, my name is Andrei. I work for the Home Decor, which is the group company for Optifine Kitchens, who uses Crikle. Crikle has allowed us to sell a lot more kitchens and a lot speedier to all of our customers. Crikle has equated to probably a third of our sales. So from 6 to 8, 9 months ago, when we didn't use Crikle at all, a third of our sales is now totally down to Crikle and selling our product through Crikle. So it's not a small number. It's not 2 or 3%. This is 30 to 35% of our sales is now via this platform.
I had salespeople sitting in Bucharest calling potential clients all over the world, and we would have been lucky to have a tool like Crikle to interact with clients on that level.
This platform is going to be with us to stay. The engagement that we have with Crikle is allowing us to develop the software so that the software grows and gets better.
A platform like Crikle it's important because it's needed on the market. So being first into a market that is just created and owning that niche market with good team and good technology, that's it. That's the recipe for success.
And we're hoping that by the year 2024, we should have roughly about 2,000 organizations, companies, businesses across the world who actually use Crikle. I mean, we are very, very clear that there is a need for the product. I think we have demonstrated the product market fit that obviously exists. And I think now it's just a question of how quickly we can expand the company, grow the business, and sell globally to meet those ambitions that we have.
Nice video. Thank you for sharing. So 5 more minutes that we have, and we got in the meantime several other questions. Maybe we can we can address at least 2 of them. Probably the pandemic will end in 1 or 2 years, and this is with this the work from home as well. Do you think that will affect negative the future of Crikle? Now, and in addition, the mention is that now it's a perfect environment for Crikle, but how do you see it later?
So the first thing I'd like to say here is that Crikle was conceived and created before the pandemic. So Crikle was not, the need for remote selling has been enhanced by the pandemic, but the need for remote selling has always been there. So when I thought of the idea of Crikle, the pandemic wasn't there. So it's helped us, and if the pandemic goes away, which hopefully I think it will go away, there will still be a lot of people working from home, but it doesn't change anything for us because, as I said in the beginning of my presentation earlier today, remote selling is becoming popular because selling in person is just become too expensive. I mean, can you imagine a salesperson? When I was a young salesperson, we used to have a course in sales called Time and Territory Management, which taught us how to fix your sales calls in one particular area in a day so that you don't get stuck in traffic jams, you don't end up at a client's office, he can't see you, you're waiting for half an hour, 45 minutes. This can't happen today. I mean, the cost of sales is very high. The marketplace is global. So remote selling is going to stay in any case, with or without pandemic. And people are if people work from home or whether they work from office, they're still going to need remote sales. But the pandemic has certainly helped. And I don't see this as the pandemic going away as something that would affect Crikle negatively at all.
Okay, we have another question, but no more time, not too much time. Let's try it. Do you have also do you have a plan about the mind mapping note-taking engine inside the platform?
Yes, we certainly have it on our roadmap. But if the person who's asked this question, if that person has any ideas of... Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly something that we are very interested in. It's not currently on our roadmap, but the person who's asked this question, if you have some ideas on how it should be done, please let me know. It's something that we would definitely like to work on. One of the things about this product, Andrei, if I'll quickly say, is that there are so many opportunities. I mean, we are just at the beginning. We're just learning how to walk. And before we take those giant leaps and footsteps, there is so much to be done. There will be lots of new features. And, you know, we, as I said in the beginning, we want to be leaders in this space. We want to be pioneers in this space. And that's the hurry. And yeah, that's the answer to the question.
So thank you so much. I think we have to conclude. Unfortunately, the hour is expiring. Thank you very much for your open answers. And of course, the audience for so many questions. That's a clear insight about your business and the opportunity. I wouldn't conclude before saying that you as a elite and classic investors, you have the opportunity to invest in exclusivity 1 week before starting the public campaign on SeedBlink. So for more details, I would switch to your notes, which can already send you some emails about it, but he can explain more about the process before the campaign is going public. And I take this opportunity to say that Ionuț is along with us, although it's his birthday today. So, la mulți ani, Ionuț.
La mulți ani, Ionuț.
Mulțumesc, mulțumesc. I'll switch to Romanian now. Thanks a lot. Mulțumesc mult, Diwaker. Știu că înțelegi română și îți mulțumesc pentru tot ce ai făcut în seara asta. Nu știu dacă știți că Diwaker a apărut în România cu primul sistem GSM din Europa și din lume, care a fost testat aici cu ZAP. Cred că toți am avut telefoane de la ZAP și eram foarte bucuroși că putem să vorbim cu telefoane mobile la vremea respectivă. A lăsat ZAP-ul să se transforme în ce s-a transformat și acum, iată-l, inovează cu Crikle. Mă refer un pic la membrii clubului Elite și Classic acum. Suntem foarte bucuroși să vă avem pe toți alături de noi. Trebuie să înțelegeți, vă rog să înțelegeți că efortul pe care l-am făcut într-un termen foarte scurt este un fel de MVP. Suntem și noi un oarece startup și acesta este un produs pe care îl testăm, dar pe care vi-l datorăm indiferent de rezultatele testului și pe care o să-l continuăm cu siguranță într-o formă sau alta. Ce am făcut astăzi a fost primul eveniment de acest gen. Am listat Crikle pentru beneficiul vostru. Avem o săptămână până în data de 3 dimineața, când Crikle va deveni public, o săptămână în care voi puteți să investiți. Investițiile voastre vor trebui să vină printr-un e-mail pe care mi-l veți trimite mie. Deocamdată platforma nu e pregătită să acomodeze investițiile voastre în mod tehnic, dar încă o dată îmi cer scuze pentru asta și vă rog să-mi trimiteți mie e-mail-uri. Un al doilea lucru, vom crea foarte repede un forum în care toată lumea care e interesată poate să discute în această săptămână cu fondatorul. Până atunci, vă rog să-mi trimiteți mie toate întrebările, iar eu voi crea acest forum tot pe mail împreună cu Diwaker și cu toți cei care trebuie să vă răspundă. Deci considerați că există acest forum, doar scrieți-mi mie mail-uri cu întrebările la care vreți răspunsuri. Închei aici urându-vă niște zile foarte frumoase. Știți că vor urma niște zile libere și să ne bucurăm cu toții cât de mult putem în starea asta de pandemie de ele. Aștept întrebări, aștept subscripții acolo unde o să fie cazul și sperăm că am făcut o figură relativ frumoasă, nu am părut foarte neprofesioniști. Vă mulțumim foarte mult pentru feedback și înțelegere și o să trimitem înregistrarea aceasta ca să o mai puteți revedea dacă aveți nevoie și o vom trimite și celor care n-au putut să participe. Cam atât din partea mea. Stau la dispoziția voastră oricând, pe mail, la telefon. Din fericire am devenit prieten cu majoritatea dintre voi, dacă nu cu toți. Răspund oricând, zi, noapte, la orice telefon și încerc să lămuresc orice nevoie. Mulțumesc frumos!
Cu neprofesionalismul potențial te referai la moderator, probabil?
La moderator, exact. Ne iertați pentru Andrei. Atât am putut.
Atâta s-a putut, da? Fiind ziua lui Ionuț, atâta s-a putut.
Exact, da. I-am dat un whisky de dimineață, trebuie să recunosc.
Mulțumim încă o dată, încheiem aici și mă bucur că e prima dată când văd la un webinar și mă bucur că se întâmplă chiar la noi, ca niciunul dintre participanți, am fost 32 pe tot parcursul webinarului, nimeni n-a părăsit incinta, ca să spun așa. Vă mulțumim și încă o dată pentru interes și interacțiune. O seară bună și să auzim de bine. Și la mulți ani pentru România, că nu ne mai vedem până atunci. Seară bună!
La revedere!
La revedere!
La revedere!
La revedere!
La revedere!
Bye!
Good evening! Bye! Bye, Diwaker! Bye, Paul!
Bye! La mulți ani, Ionuț!